Well, the frost is still on the rhubarb, but this morning, after lots of great feedback from viewers and subscribers, I'm going to cut off these flowers. And the general consensus, here's one, is that they detract from the plant's vigour and are really not advisable to keep. So off they come. And I did read somewhere that they're a bit of a delicacy somewhere, but there's another one there. I don't think I'm going to be eating them. There we go, get that one off. And then I'm not sure whether that's a flower or not. I'm going to have to wait and see what happens to it. And then this one has got two. There's one. And another one right down and in there. He's not particularly easy to get to. There we go. And is that one? Yes, it is. I've never seen so many flowers on rhubarb before. So I'm not sure what's causing it, but they're coming out. And this is a much older variety. Doesn't seem to be suffering from that problem in the same way. Right, this one. Nope. So, it might be early and the frost might still be on the rhubarb, but it's time for action. Well, today's a big construction day. I've just uncovered, got down last night to minus 3.3. We're getting used to it now. Every night. Never mind. Everything seems to be surviving the frost as long as you cover it up well. I haven't had any casualties now for some time. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. And talking about touching wood, these are in my plans today. It's bean cane time. So I'm going to construct the canes, the bean poles. Only this year, unlike the past 3 years, I'm planning for them not to blow down. And if you've watched my earlier video, you'll see what I've put together to try and prevent that happening again. So today's construction day. I'll show you what I'm up to. So that's everything assembled, not least my fence posts bolted together at the top to make 4 arches that hopefully will give this year's beanpole arrangement more rigidity than ever before. The wind addition no doubt will come later on down the line. We're sure to get one of those really stormy weeks, and we'll see this year whether I can crack it. First things first, I need to get these hoops out, because this bed definitely isn't going to need hoops, and I'll put them onto the next bed up, which are going to have leaks in, and I'll have to take these out eventually because the leaks will grow taller, but they're going to serve to protect the leaks during the early days of their growth. Right, let's move. Well, you can see that from the post that I've just stood next to, the one I've knocked in, it's gone down into the ground about 12 inches, which is absolutely perfect. It means I've got a 6 foot high beanpole structure, and the ground's pretty soft, so it's gone in fairly easily. I would think if you've got hard ground you might have to get some step ladders and hit them quite hard, but they seem to work out really well. So I'm going to measure out spacing now and get the other 3 in, and then I've got the starting point for the bean structure. I think I've earned a cup of coffee now. I learned quite a bit doing that. The bolts have gone through the 2 poles, probably a bit too high up, so the cross at the top is very narrow. So it'll take the canes but it won't take the metal rods. But they were a bit short anyway, so no loss. I measured from the top right down to the soil on each post, just to make sure they've gone into the ground the same amount, and they've all gone in about 12 inches, so that's great. And I've trodden around the base of each of the poles and added more soil and trodden again, all in the interest of getting it nice and firm. And I'm pleased to say they're very firm now. So I think that's about it. Next step is going to be putting those canes up, but I'm going to have that coffee first. Good times. That's another refill of the feeder. At the moment the goldfinches are going through this about once a day. Well, there's 6 of them, and yesterday I noticed they were joined by some siskins, which was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to keep feeding them. I do love birds. Well, I'm pretty pleased with my beanpole construction. It's as sturdy as I've ever made, and I think this could well be resilient to those late summer winds that we tend to get. So, fingers crossed. Mrs. K wants a post in the corner here, so I'm going to recycle this post that I found, and we'll be hanging our sign on it, chickens this way. So get a bit of earth out and get underway. I think that'll do. Well, I'm going to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground now. I've lived with the layout for a few weeks and I think I know what I want to do. I think we're going to end up putting a little half step here at the exit and then have these remaining ones a little bit close together to get us round. That's the plan. I just need to straighten them up, dig down and get them laid out. Well, that went in nicely. Pretty simple stuff, just taking the back out, and where we got a bit sloping away we just take the corner out as well, but they're in there nice and solid, and they'll make that so much easier for when we get into the winter months next year. Well, as you can see, these potatoes sit in the shade, which is great because the pots don't dry out as much. But one of my neighbours is given me a load of grass clippings. I'll get my own shortly, but I'm going to make use of these and just put over the top of all the potatoes. It does two things. It keeps the moisture in, and of course when the soft shoots just start to push out of the soil, if there's still any frost around, then it helps protect them. So makes really good use of this. And there isn't really any seed in this grass because it's so early on in the season, so it's absolutely ideal. So I'll just cover up as many as I can. I'm going to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground. I'm going to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground. I'm I'm going to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground. So I'm going to sink these stepping stones Well, I've got to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground, and I've been living with this layout for a week or two just to see how we I'm going to get these stepping stones sunk into the ground. I've lived with this layout for a few weeks. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.